Hello and welcome back to another video here in the LEGO Room. I hope you are well. Today I'm going to elaborate on a video that I've actually covered twice already before, and that is the buildable helmet collection line for LEGO Star Wars. And last year I did a video about what we could potentially see for the helmet collection were they to bring it back, which of course they did in 2025. And I actually covered this at the very end of 2023 as well. I remember doing 5 helmets that I would love to see from LEGO Star Wars in 2024. And goodness knows we didn't get any in 2024. So I was going to go over a couple of those. I of course called a couple that we have ended up getting, including the Jango Fett helmet and of course Kylo Ren. And there's one or two that I do think is still possible for them to make moving forward in 2026 and beyond. If you're a LEGO Star Wars fan, please do drop a like on this video before we get into it. It would be sincerely appreciated, and do consider subscribing. There's always LEGO Star Wars stuff going on this channel on a daily basis, so make sure you are subscribed for more. What I'm going to actually do for once on this type of sit-down theory video is actually spin the camera around and show you something that prompted this thought from last year. And if you just ignore the Boba Fett slave one on top of Boba's palace, you'll see the Bo-Katan helmet on the left-hand side. And as we move down, you'll be able to also see the Gideon and the Armorer helmet as well. And those 3 helmets, I think, could be significant over the next year or so, particularly with the Mando and Grogu movie. Starting with the Bo-Katan helmet, which is one that I have mentioned twice already, and I think it is only a matter of time before we get a Bo-Katan helmet. I have no doubt she will in some way play a role in the Mando and Grogu movie. I can't see how we won't end up with this helmet on shelves at some time. I originally spoke about a year or two ago the idea of having the Bo-Katan helmet on the shelves at the same time as the Armorer and Din Djarin the Mandalorian. This is something that I think would be a no-brainer, particularly in 2026, as they're clearly going to release a line of sets in line with the Mando and Grogu movie. And that of course brings us to the other helmets that were there as well, the Armorer being the first one. I think it looks fantastic. You probably saw maybe the clip of me with it on my head on the most recent evening in the LEGO Room video, and that is a helmet that I think looks fantastic. I think it does translate. There is of course the idea, as we've seen with the Thanos Gauntlet, which is just out of shot as well, how you would do the gold pieces, whether or not you would make them chrome and shiny, but it's certainly one that I think they could do. I think it would look fantastic, and of course next to a Bo-Katan and a Mandalorian helmet I think would look really good as well. The other thing that I think is probably not off the table is a Moff Gideon helmet. I think that it is a fantastic looking helmet. It wouldn't be too complex to do. I think if you're going to do Gideon and you're going to do the Armorer, the technique structure wouldn't be too different. Of course, you would see some difference in colours and at the very bottom of the mask as well, but I think that it's something that would line up really nicely, and a lot of these things possibly might be after the Mando and Grogu movie. I certainly think of those 3 that I've listed there and shown you from the Black Series helmet collection that the Bo-Katan helmet is something that they absolutely will do in the future. One that I hadn't mentioned in any of the previous videos is something that I've become acutely aware of that people love more and more, and since we moved to Whatnot and we started doing some more streams on Whatnot at the very start of this year, I noticed that the actual clamour for Death Troopers is certainly still there. And of course with the sort of new Ahsoka series that will be coming out, and of course Thrawn's Kitsui Death Troopers and Night Troopers, I certainly think it's possible we could see some variant of a Night Trooper in the future. It's certainly something that is missing from the lineup. If you think about the fact that we have the Scout Trooper, the Storm Trooper, the Dark Trooper, I do think that's possible that we could see a Night Trooper at some point in the future. It is of course not lost on me in this video as well that they are clearly, particularly already with LEGO Marvel, moving toward the line of buildable busts. We've already seen the Iron Man and the Spider-Man, and that Darth Vader bust is all but confirmed for 2026. And if we do get confirmation of that, you can guarantee that you'll see it in a video like you have with the previous January rumours for 2026, which I've already covered in a video. I should drop the thumbnail on screen for you. Go and check that out if you want to see what is coming out for January 2026 for LEGO Star Wars. I will also go back to the idea of getting a Fennec Shand helmet as well. I do not think this is off the table by any stretch of the imagination. It would be of course quite difficult with the sort of slit piece in there, but not impossible. possible it would of course pair up really nicely with the Boba Fett helmet that was on shelves as well. I think that those two would match up really nicely together, kind of in a similar sort of fashion to Jango and Boba, and of course, as you can see just in the corner there, Kylo and Vader as well. One that I think is potentially possible. The only real banker from that list of 4, in my opinion, is the Bo-Katan helmet. I cannot see a world in which we do not end up with that helmet at some point from the helmet collection. The other idea that I did have, and I sort of expressed this in a video, probably a different video last year when the Bad Batch was coming to its conclusion, was the idea of getting a Bad Batch set of helmets and whether or not that would even be doable. And I did speak about the idea of maybe potentially being better suited to a set of brickheads, a set of 6 with the 5 and with Omega as well. That is probably a idea for another video to go back over at some point in the future. But the idea of if you were to have a Bad Batch set of helmets, or if indeed you were to get 1 or 2 of the characters from the Bad Batch, would it be more likely to see maybe it's 1 or 2? I think if you were to release all 5, that is an incredible amount of money and something that would need to be done over the course of a couple of years. And for that reason, that's not something I can see as totally likely. It is, however, possible in my mind that at some point you could see a Hunter helmet in the helmet collection and potentially a Wrecker as well. They are 2 of the more distinct helmets from the collection. The Wrecker one, of course, slightly bigger, and that would command a different kind of structure and probably a larger piece count as well. I mean, you cannot tell me that would not look cool as a buildable helmet. I mean, if I'd put it up there with the rest of them, I think that that is the kind of helmet that would look really good. Of course, depends whether or not you get a printed piece for some of these detailers or whether it would indeed be a sticker. I think it would have to be a printed piece, and I think we are probably a little way off that with the helmet collection. But Bad Batch, of course, being received very, very well, and sort of was very much a growing show and something that people enjoyed more and more as time went on. So that is it. Maybe we'll come back to this video again in a year's time, and maybe there will be a release or a set leak release of one of these sets, and maybe it's something we will see in the future. And I certainly think the Bo-Katan is very much on the table at some point within the next 2 years. I do obviously understand as well, it looks likely that they're going to start moving down this line of buildable busts. I can see them starting off very sort of basically with a Darth Vader and then maybe with a Boba Fett, and slowly sort of working their way out from there and seeing what the sort of clamour is for that, because the Marvel ones haven't been received all that well. So I'll be really curious to see whether or not buildable busts is indeed something I'm talking about this time next year. If there's a Lego helmet that you'd like to see in the helmet collection, do let me know in the comments below. I would be really curious to see what you would like to see. Of course, keep it kind, keep it respectful. Thank you so much for watching. If you're a Lego Star Wars fan, please do consider subscribing. We've always got something going on the channel, and make sure you check out our latest Whatnot stream. We are giving away stuff in every single stream at the moment. We've been giving away some crazy stuff recently. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and hopefully I will see you in the very next video. Bye.